What's good? Welcome back to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me.
Hey, man, I'm here, baby. Mr. Too Many Reasons himself. Shout out to them Edison Tigers.
Oh, okay. I was like, E.T.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Edison Tigers, man. You know, that's the school I work at, coach at, do a lot of things for, man. So shout out to my young goons.
The young Tigers. Are y'all going to be playing football this year or no?
Yeah, man. We're supposed to be picking it up in January. My quarterback, my guy, Justin, I think it's Kalar. His name is always hard to pronounce. He's a frequent watcher of our show, our young quarterback, man. So I want to give my guy Justin a shout out. Appreciate him always coming through, watching the show as a young guy. We touching the youth, bro. We out here getting tapped in with the youth. We just trying to educate, man. So
yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Shout out to Edison Tigers, man. Shout out to sports in general. I hope, I really do hope, because I don't know how that protocol gonna be with everything going on and high school kids. I love kids. I love the students, but they students at the end of the day, and they are the most easiest to pass along germs and not even know it, or whatever the case may be. So hopefully they can have a season, because I know school's about to be coming back. People are talking about going back to school, and I don't understand how you're going to go back to school full time. So many conspiracies going on. They're saying, like, when the election's over, the virus is going to be gone. We're going to get a vaccine. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway.
Before we just say, only thing I do know is, at least in California, right here in Fresno, because I can only speak to like what I'm more accustomed to, is they really do want to get the kids back in school, secondary school, middle school, high school in January.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the hope. But I mean, for the most part, the kids understand the severity of this situation. So, this is going to be like a trial by error. And then we just have to kind of figure it out. But high school sports is going on around the world, and it ain't stopping too much. I ain't seen too many cancellations, whether it's Texas, Florida, Alabama. So other states are playing. A lot of kids getting their football on.
They're on ESPN too as well. So I don't know how they doing it. Kudos to them. I think it's all good until they have somebody that catch it, but it's going to be prevalent. I'm just going to be honest. If it happened in the NFL, if it happened in college, best believe it's going to happen in high school, okay? They probably ain't talking about it yet, but best believe somebody going to end up it's just what it is, man. You got too much going back and forth and stuff like that. But anyway, man, talk about some hoops today, man. We're talking about some turmoil going on in the locker room with the Clippers, man. The fall of the Los Angeles Clippers, man. You want to tell the people about what happened with the Clippers reasons?
I just, you just been hearing that the treatment that Kawhi and PG got was not well received with that team overall. Reports that, Kawhi used to make the team planes late because he's lived in San Diego, and he basically got to dictate when he wanted to practice and when he wanted to play. And then Paul George came in like he way up here, but his play wasn't matching his body language and how he was perceiving himself to be better than other players on the team. And I just think that I'm just looking at it like that team the year before took a fully healthy Warriors team to 6 games. And that team was tight. And everybody was saying all over the social media, oh yeah, man, you can just plug Kawhi. You can just plug PG in there, and they already got great chemistry, and you just taking, 2 stars and it should just work out. But we can tell that chemistry is everything, bro. Chemistry is everything. When you look at, for example, the Miami Heat, look how tight that team was. Look how tight that team was. Look at the Lakers, just on the surface. And me just removing myself even as a Laker fan. When I look at that team was tight. That chemistry in that team was tight. The Warriors, before they added KD, the chemistry of that team. So when teams win championships, championship level teams, the star power, the skills, like that's good. But the real locker room chemistry, where it's like we here, is what wins. And the Clippers lacked that real locker room chemistry, in my humble opinion.
This is sad. This is sad. This is so sad that it just breaks my heart that we always relate to excuses because we don't get the job done. When the Clippers was doing all that great stuff, playing amazing defense, had elite wings, oh my God, they just clamped up, wooty. They're up 3-1. Where was this locker room chemistry? Where was the locker room issues then? Where was the Kawhi Leonard and the Paul George getting special treatment then? I'll wait, because we didn't hear it. We didn't hear not a damn thing about issues in that locker room until all of a sudden they blow a 3-1 lead. Now we ain't tight. I know why you ain't tight, because y'all asses lost. Y'all blew a 3-1 lead. You a part of history for the wrong reasons. That's why you ain't tight. That's why you're mad. That's why you bring that's petty to me. That is so petty to me. That's like you're in a relationship. You're in a relationship, and now since something's not working out and you end up breaking up, or say y'all just have a falling out or whatever the case, you're going to bring up all this other stuff that, well, we didn't work because that person always used to do this, always used to do that. So if it was an issue that long, why the hell you stayed with me then? Why was you with me if it was really that big of a deal? Come on now. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. The Clippers are finding excuses for them to not win the game. That's just what it is. Because when they was winning, it was no locker room issues. When they lose, all hell break loose. Kawhi gets special treatment. Paul George gets special. These are supposed to be the superstars of the team. I ain't never not know that superstars don't get special treatment. I'll wait. Tell me when a superstar didn't get special treatment. Please tell me.
I'm just trying to. I don't know, because I give kids who I feel who are better than the other kids special treatment, and we only talking middle school and high school sports.
Exactly. Exactly. Kawhi Leonard been low management for I don't know how damn long. If Kawhi come late. It wasn't an issue. Like I said, man, it wasn't an issue when you win it. There's always an excuse. Now, look, I had this talk with my boy Jay. I had talk. He was like, the Clippers are the best team. They got them dogs. These dogs is just boop the root. And then all of a sudden, man, you could just tell they wasn't the same, man. They wasn't, like you could tell something ain't right. I don't want to hear that. You wasn't saying that when they was up 3-1. You wasn't saying that when they was beating the Lakers. You wasn't saying none of that. You was saying they the better team. They got more dogs on that team. LeBron don't want that smoke. AD don't want that smoke. You up 3-1 against the Nuggets. I guess y'all didn't want that smoke. Y'all didn't want the smoke. So I don't want to hear about this nonsense about somebody got special treatment. Come on, y'all. We are grown-ass men. You are here to get a job. They have special treatment at every damn workplace, every workforce, wherever you're at. There's always somebody getting special treatment. But it's your job to do your job. You come to work to clock in and do your part. You do your part. Don't worry about the next man at the end of the day. If you do your job, then that's on them if they're not doing theirs. Don't come at me with we ain't had no chemistry. We got issues. They getting special treatment. Look at why I get the kind of work. Why I gotta be on time. What was the issue when you went to go get your lemon pepper wings, Lou?
Oh.
Montrez, you wasn't in the bubble for family reasons. That ain't special treatment. That ain't special treatment to take care of your family stuff. Is that not, if it wasn't special, your ass would have been in there playing. But they said, nah, take care of your family stuff. You came right before the playoffs start.
Who's first? You got, like, again, man, I honestly, I'm not going to attribute the special treatment, but I'm going to attribute to something that's real, and I need you to follow. Kawhi, what they lacked and what they didn't have is a leader. I'm going to just call it how I see it. They lacked leadership. It wasn't about no treatments and this. It's leadership. When you look at the history of Mr. Kawhi Leonard, he's an all-time great talent. But he has a real introvert personality. He's more of the I'm gonna show you kind of guy, and that's a leadership quality. So you don't knock that. But in all his teams, you have the Duncans, the Parkers, the Ginobilis, and Greg Popovich, who we both know and respect here. Then when you go to Toronto, you can be that guy because you got Kyle Lowry, who's the leader, who galvanizes the troops, who, when things is going wrong, that's what he does. So if the Clipper locker room was facing these adverse situations, the lack of true leadership amongst the players is why they failed, because Kawhi's not the guy that's going to jump in Paul George's face and tell him he has to be better. It's going to be, it seemed like to me, it's going to be like a regular, like, hey, yeah, PG, man, you got to pick it up. Versus how you see LeBron and AD, it's like, hey, I hold you to this standard. I'm going to need you to live up to this standard. You told me to come here. You feel, because that's how they look at it. AD looking at Bron like, you brought me here. So I'm going to need you to, and then LeBron looking at AD like, I got you here. So together they like, all right, I don't see that in Paul George and Kawhi. And not saying it can't develop, but that to me is the reason why they struggle. So when you look at the Clippers going forward, they hire Ty Lue. Personally, don't think he's that good of a coach.
Wow.
I just feel like he was blessed to have LeBron James. And LeBron James makes everybody look like a great coach, a.k.a. Frank Vogel, but that's neither here nor there. LeBron, superstars make you look great. Let's just be honest. LeBron made Ty Lue look good because when LeBron left, right, when he left Cleveland and Ty Lue was there, does anybody remember how long Ty Lue coached the Cavaliers?
It wasn't that long. But you got to understand, look, man.
I know, but what I'm getting at is when LeBron left Miami and Eric Spoelstra ended up losing D-Wade, remember Bosh got sick and could no longer play, Spo held that down.
Yeah, he did.
He held it down. They went through some trying times, but you didn't question Spo's ability. He didn't get fired. You know, Miami missed the playoffs a couple of times. It wasn't get him up out of here. Ty Lue had a chance to rebuild that Cavs team. And if you're a good coach, more than likely you gonna go through that trying. You lose LeBron and Kyrie. Of course that next season ain't gonna be good.
Right.
But it just didn't even seem like he was in it no more. And so now he's moving to another superstar situation. So how can I really attribute good coaching if you just keep walking into good situations? To me, the best hire is the fact that he hired Chauncey Billups as his assistant. Big Shot Billups is a true leader. And all that, them riffs and all that BS that was going on, Billups not going to allow that to happen. So to me, it's not the Ty Lue hire. It's the Chauncey Billups hire that Clipper fans should be more excited about.
You know what? I can see where you come from.
You see? Thank you, bro.
I don't think – here's my issue with the leader thing, though.
Okay.
I think that the Clippers got too many wannabe leaders.
Oh.
That's what I believe. Not that they're not leaders. I just feel like everybody – you got too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. You got the Pat Bevs. You got Paul George. You got Kawhi Leonard. You got Montrezl Harrell. Sometimes you may even got Lou Wings or Lemon Pepper Lou. You get what I'm saying? These 4 to 5 people always got something to contribute, something to say. And I think there's too many people that's trying to be a leader, and there's not one dominant man that's like, hey, this is my team. Hey, let's get it together. And I feel like that's the real issue, because I feel like even though Kawhi is a superstar of the team, Pat Beverly is the dog of the team. Pat Beverly and Montrez is the dogs of that team. Those are the rah-rah guys. They're like, come on, man, get it together. What are we doing? When you see Kawhi, it's more like, come on, man. It's like a soft, subtle attitude. You know what I'm saying? That subliminal attitude. You know he got an attitude, but he ain't going to let it be all the way. No, he going to be like, come on, man, what you doing? Dang. Like one of those. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, PG going to let you know. He going to be like, hey, what? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. He going to let you know. And PG will make it known. If he feels certain way, he going to let it be known how he feel. So I think that is the issue right now. And I think the real root of this Clipper nucleus is they got to identify who's the captain. All right? If you want to do two captains, if you want to do what the Lakers kind of do, where you got 1A, 1B, or whatever the case may be, where it's not a 1 then a 2, then, all right, Kawhi's 1A, PG's 1B. All right? And those dudes got to lead the team better. They got to lead by example. All right? Kawhi, if you want people to buy into your system, then if it comes to being on stuff on time, either you let your team know earlier. Like I said, I don't know how this all plays out because it's all he say, she say. But if that is the case, let your team know on earlier. Hey, fellas, I'm going to be a little bit late. Got to take care of some business, but I'm there. When it comes to practice, when you be there early, you be there early and you leave late. You lead by example because then people will buy into you. They will buy into your system. PG, if you're the B guy, if you're the vice president of the team, quote unquote, when it comes to like player aspect, then you gotta help your president out. When your president not around, you gotta be the face now. Hey, let's get it right, y'all. Let's turn up. Let's lock in. Let's do what we need to do. And your generals, which is the Pat Beverleys, the Montrez, they got to fall in line. They got to keep that sort of leadership style at bay. They got to make sure everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do, and they holding the young bloods accountable. But if that ain't being done, that's going to be an issue. I think Chauncey Billups will come in there and at least help provide that aspect to that leadership and say, hey, guys, the best thing about the Detroit Pistons is that we didn't all have superstars, but we was an amazing team, and we played team ball. And I think the Clippers they will figure it out. They will get it together, and they're going to be a team to be messing with because they have the skill. They have the talent. Now they just got to fix a piece. They need a big man. They do need a big man because that's their Achilles heel. When they play against a skillful big man, they struggled. When they played against the Mavs, they got bailed out because Clippers probably could have lost in the first round if Porzingis was healthy.
Yeah, I think they need a point guard. They need a guy because Pat Bev is not the guy that can organize an offense. They need an organizer. They need somebody that can go in there and organize, settle things down, put people in spots. They need an organizer at the point guard position. Because I feel like Zubac is a solid big man overall, but whatever you coming off the bench with, he needs to be around Zubac size. Like you can't go from a 7-footer to Montrez at 6'8". Like I feel like that's not healthy. You know, I don't think that's not good when you playing against the Jokic, the ADs, the Nurkic. There's some other big men. You know, like I said, to me, you're spot on with how to do the leadership thing. I kind of look at it's for the most part, the best players are the leaders on teams, right? Only time you kind of look at it is like a Draymond Green. Steph is like the best. Steph and Clay the best players, and Steph leads. But Draymond Green has real leadership qualities because he's not afraid to challenge Steph and Clay, but they respect him for it.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. And it's a weird dynamic, but they work well like that. You feel me? Draymond is the leader. He's the heartbeat. He's all that what Montrez and Lou is, but he holds up his end of the bargain. And Steph and Clay are like, they're still 1A, 1B vice president. You feel me? So it's just more or less like they the vice president and president, and Draymond's the attorney general. Yeah,
I can see that, and I think they just got to identify. And again, it's the first year. Sometimes it's a couple years. The Lakers just got lucky. It worked out. Like they put it together, and I think what brought them together was the passing of Kobe Bryant. I think that changed the landscape of that team. I think they probably would have had some issues going down the line, and it was been the first. But when you lose a legend and an icon, or an iconic figure, I can say like that touched so many people's lives in the game of basketball and outside, that brought a team together like no other.
You know how that is.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what it does. And I said, I mean, and I didn't really think about it like that, honestly. But I do feel like their chemistry as a team was forming, and then they were thrust into becoming closer together. You feel me? And I attribute it, you know, before we kind of move on, kind of like me and my wife. We were going through certain things early on in our relationship. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it was like our turmoil or anything, but just things kept happening. And every time something happened, instead of getting further apart, we got closer together. Right. And that's kind of what happens with certain things is certain teams need a coach firing, i.e. your Atlanta Falcons. You get a coach firing, the team galvanizes. You feel me? Sometimes, you know, you don't want a death to happen, but sometimes some kind of outside influence can bring the team together if it's not real organic in how players and everything gel. Right. So that could be, you know, part of the reason why the Lakers call lightning in the bottle.
I think so. I think when you plan for somebody and you trying to honor somebody, you just push yourself to another limit. Now, will they do it next year? You never know. You never know. Will those shots still fall? You never know. But I think that this year, everything was accelerated because of the situation. And I think we got to understand when you bring superstars together, it don't always work. The only team that it was able to work with the first year was the Boston Celtics when they got the big three. They brung those three together and they won a championship their first year. And then after that, they never won it again, or whatever the case may be. Not saying that's going to be the case with the Lakers and LeBron, but I'm just saying that did happen, okay? So it did happen. But if you really look at the coaching diary with the Doc Rivers had, with the Mbute and like that meaning and the word and what that meant and how they embody that and how they formed a bond from that team was unbeatable because of their mentality and their gel and the way they played for one another. It was like you hold your brother up no matter what, and you hold them accountable and push them to that limit. The Clippers got to get to that moment. And I think having Chauncey Billups and Ty Lue, I'm not going to say he's a bad coach or whatever the case may be. They did get rid of him kind of early. They didn't give him a long time. It takes a while when you lose superstars to really gel and get it together. They just got him out of there. And so I think he's going to have a solid situation. They got respect for him, and I think they're going to even have more respect for Chauncey. And I think this is a good opportunity for Chauncey to get into the coaching aspect because I always love Chauncey Billups' approach to the game and how he approach it as a coach and even as an analyst and how he brings that perspective to the game. And I think he's going to bring a lot of insight to that Clipper lineup. And I think they're going to be a solid team to be messing with. And they're going to be in trouble. I think the West is going to be very, very strong. Like always, I think you're going to have 4 contenders. I think the Warriors, the Lakers, the Clippers, and then the Nuggets. I think Portland's going to be good if they stay healthy. They're still going to figure it out. Like, don't get me wrong. Portland's going to be a solid team to be reckoned with. And then I think there's going to be a sleeper. I think there's really going to be a sleeper team that come in and shock the world. And you still got the Mavs. I think
the West is loaded. This is just lit. The West
is going to be loaded.
Is loaded, and the Lakers and LeBron and them got their hands full.
It's going to be hard to repeat if they do.
And as a fan, of course, I'm always cheering for my team. But as a realist, I know that this next hill they got to climb, it ain't going to be nothing easy, nothing pretty. And they going to have to stay injury-free. Yeah. I believe chemistry is not nothing I'm worried about. But injuries and all that, like time, because I feel like it's more about the timing of an injury. You get an injury early on in the season, your player can come back later, you cool. You get an injury late, pushing, that's not a good look. So the Lakers, to me, all about health. Because chemistry, I don't worry about chemistry because Bron is the chemistry guy. He does that well. Like his leadership is one of the top leadership qualities of a NBA superstar that we've seen. It don't happen often, but his leadership abilities is bar none. So
yeah,
looking forward to it. So how about we tap into this Doc Rivers, aka Glenn Rivers situation, because he said there's only one Doc in Philly, and he no longer wants to be called Doc Rivers in Philly. He wants to be called by his government name. His mama named him Glenn, so I'm gonna call him Glenn.
Glenn Rivers.
Glenn Rivers, now coach of Philadelphia 70. How do you feel about Coach Rivers getting Ben and Embiid and that team together?
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they work together. I really do. I'm not going to lie to you. Because Doc Rivers' philosophy is like playing hard, trusting in one another, depending on your superstars, and playing good team basketball or whatever. He really forced the issue about, playing hard, playing great defense, trusting each other. Philly is a good defensive team. That was never their issue defensively. And if Ben Simmons would have been healthy, they would have still been able to make it tough for a lot of teams that they played against. I think their issue is offensively. And I feel like one of the biggest things is trying to figure out how they're going to get buckets, because I get it. Ben Simmons, we always say Ben Simmons got to be able to shoot. Not necessarily if you use him in the right way. If you use him in the right way, you got a 7-foot, damn near 7-foot small forward. You don't necessarily have to shoot if you can put him in better situations, put him in mismatch situations where he can dominate in the post, where he can play where he's at his highest percentage at. Of course, it'd be great. You become a better player when you can be able to shoot the ball a little bit better, because then you can become more dynamic. But do you necessarily have to shoot? Nah, it just depends on coaching. I think what hurts Giannis is that they make Giannis become one-dimensional because the way they use him. When you put Giannis in the post, oh, my God, the man is a monster. Ain't nobody guarding that dude. He just turns around, dunk on you, get a layup. If Giannis develops a stronger post game, what do I need to shoot for? I get he's shooting, but what do you need to shoot? Who's going to stick a 7-foot monster that's athletic, that can jump out the gym, and now got footwork crazy?
You can't stop that. I mean, that's because I know we're going to get into that about, where people can improve as that comes out in our series. But, yeah, you can't do that. But I think with Ben being a point guard, you're going to have to be able to at least shoot the midi. Just because all pick and roll situations is never going to just allow you to be able to just get to the cup.
Right.
You feel me? As you can tell, teams that are good, betterly coached or good coach can shrink all that. We just not going to let you get to the paint. So then what you going to do? That's what they do to Giannis. So it's going to happen the same kind of situation with Ben. And because the way that team is constructed currently with Al Horford and Tobias Harris and Embiid and I think Josh Richardson, you don't have a lot of floor spacing to even help Ben just become the guy that you're talking about, because look at the court. You feel me? Embiid can shoot, but you shouldn't want Embiid out there pulling threes all the time.
But you don't need to, though. I feel like you can put Embiid in the post and if you have to you can put Ben Simmons in the dunker spot, where if they help Embiid, he comes down and drives and he creates an easier bucket. You don't necessarily have to change it all the way up or whatever, and you don't always have to do pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? You can show your coaching philosophy.
You got to be able to, if you go run pick and roll, in order for the pick and roll to be as effective, you have to be dual dimensional to where you can at least shoot a little bit. Because for the most part, they can sit there and go underneath the pick and roll, dare you to shoot, and we can take away Embiid on that. If you can shoot just a little bit, and again, he ain't got to become Steph and them. He just got to be able to hit that shot enough to where where defenses have to play them differently. That will allow them to really start exploiting different matchups, backdoor cuts, all kinds of the floodgates can open for Philly.
Yes.
Ben just shoots a little bit more. Because right now he turning down jumpers You feel me? And I don't think that that's going to help them. If he can just shoot a little bit, and again, I agree with you, putting him in better positions and all that kind of stuff. Him being able to shoot a little bit
will make them even better. They got a solid nucleus. I don't think Al Horford.
They got to get rid of him.
I don't think. I feel like if he's going to play, then have him come off the bench. I don't think he should start. If you're going to keep him, have him come off the bench, provide a spark for the second stream. He can be a second stream guy, get the second stream offense, because Al Horford can still get a bucket, and he can play somewhat of a solid defense. He may not be the rim protector that he used to be or whatever, but he can spread the floor a little bit. I ain't telling you that's your focal point and you use him as your focal offense, but he can definitely provide a spark, help provide a spark for the second stream. I think that they're going to be solid. Tobias Harris played well with Doc Rivers. That's how he got his big contract. So I think Tobias is going to feel more comfortable. I think they're going to run a lot of sets through him as well, too. And I think they're going to play. See, I think the biggest issue is who you're going to play through. That's always been the Phillies' issue. Are you going to play through Ben Simmons? Or are you going to play through Embiid? That has always been the issue as to who they're going to play to, and I think that's why styles clashes. They have to identify who are they going to play through. Is it going to be Ben Simmons' team, or is it going to be Embiid's team? If it's Embiid's team, how can you make everybody else around him better? You hear what I'm saying? How can
because if he's drawing double teams, he has to kick it out to somebody.
But not necessarily have to kick it out to shoot. Like I said, you can use Ben Simmons in the dunker spot or in that mid-range spot. But I think what the issue with Ben Simmons, I don't necessarily think it's not that he can't shoot. I don't think he's confident in shooting. I really feel that way. Like, you got Giannis, who's not the best shooter, but he would throw that thing up. You get what I'm saying? He would throw that, and that's just confidence. He makes some, he miss some, but the confidence level is like, I'm going to get better at this. They're laughing at me now. They're talking about my shot now. I don't care. But once I start getting good at this and I'm taking confident shots, they're going to fall eventually. And I think what Ben Simmons got to do, he just got to be confident to shoot the ball. You see him shooting the ball in these pickup games, and they're like, oh, my God, Ben Simmons shooting a three. No, that's pickup. I need you to be confident in the real game and shoot the ball. I don't give a damn if you go 1 for 6. Shoot it, because eventually it's going to drop. It's going to drop. All right? Unless you're playing 2K and you got a 50 overall jump shot, and it would never drop. But we're not playing 2K. This is NBA. I think you can improve your game with the mid-range. And if you can shoot the three, I say work in the mid-range, and then extend it out. Once you formulate a form in the mid-range, you can extend it out. But I think Doc, he got his hand full.
Glenn. Call that man. His mama named him Glenn.
Not Doc.
Gotta call that
I'm going to call Mr. Rivers. I'm going to call him
Coach Rivers.
Coach Rivers. I think Coach Rivers, I think he has his hands full. I think Philly has the defensive nucleus. I think they got to identify how they're going to get their buckets and where they're going to move their pieces to better their team. But I think there's still going to be an issue in the East. I feel like the East, you look, Miami's going to get better.
Wide open over there.
It's going to get better. Toronto's going to get even better. I think, and we're not going to touch too much into it because we're getting close to the end, but I think Siakam got some holes in his game, and it showed. He's going to get better. I think Boston's going to improve. I think Boston's Brad Stevens is on a hot seat, though. I really feel that way. I think he got probably one more season. If it doesn't work, they're getting rid of him. I really feel that way. And then you got Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets is going to be a problem. A healthy KD, Kyrie. They say they can play with each other. It's all good and dandy when you haven't played. When you're on the court, you're going to see if they really can play with each other. I think they're going to be solid because they're good friends. But I don't know how good friends you are when y'all play together. We thought Russ and KD was the best as of friends, and you see how that turned out. You get what I'm saying? You see how that turned out. So I don't know.
Yeah, man, like I said, when you just look at it, the East is going to be hot. Miami going to be right there in the mix. I feel like I wouldn't sleep on Washington with them getting John Wall back, because John Wall and Bradley Beal all together makes them real competitive. But it's like I said, before we head to the end of the show, it's just a lot going on, and teams got to figure it out. I mean, today our main focus was the Clippers and the Sixers.
Yeah.
And what they can do. I know Houston is still looking for a coach. They GM just left.
Yeah. Let's go look at the path of James. Yeah,
Jeff Van Gundy is one of the coaches they got out there. And if JVD gets that head coaching job, that team will look totally different. I don't know who leaving and how they leaving, but they ain't going to be playing small ball. And I don't think James going to be out there Mr. Ice.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be a little bit different. And I think James needs that. I really do. I think that would better his game. I think that would better the team because that's just not conducive to winning. That's just not. I love to see it, but it's just not. It's just not conducive to winning. You tried it for 2 years.
Like damn near 3. Just
3 years.
D'Antoni's been there. That has been the system. You got to think about it. McHale was there, and McHale won 50-some-odd games. Got them to the Western Conference Finals. And all of a sudden it didn't work. D'Antoni show up and just say, here, James, you take the ball. And then, James started putting up all these astronomical numbers. But they was just as successful playing in a more traditional sense of basketball. Not saying you can't ISO and get buckets the way
Right.
But remember they had Dwight. They had more of a traditional team. So I think that'll be interesting. I'm interested to see who goes to the Thunder because, the rumor mill is swirling about your guy, CP3, possibly teaming up with Bron. Now, I know you're a Bron guy and you're a real Chris Paul guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think your fandom of that situation to be through the roof if you get a CP and Bron together for you.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I know for you as a basketball purist, but two of your main guys who you cheer for, always had the most respect for, was end up on the same team.
That'd be 3 unselfish people on a team together is a problem. And I think I love Rondo. I do love Rondo. I got mad respect for Rondo or playoff Rondo because I think he deserves that name. When you get to the playoff, when you're a great player, you excel. And he definitely excelled, and he helped the Lakers. He helped them a lot in so many ways. But I think if Rondo is thinking about leaving, then that may be a great piece to pick up. I know Chris Paul is a little bit older, but he's still a vet, and he still got a couple of years in him. And I think he will create better opportunities, even more opportunities for LeBron. And he will check LeBron too. You're not gonna come at him. No, he's gonna let you know, like, yo, Bron, I don't give a damn. Like, get your butt over there. I got a point right now. Go over there. We going AD right now. Over there. And I love that.
No, you move. You're not getting the ball.
Facts. And we'll see. But I don't know. We're going to find out. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here, man?
No, man. Just nothing, man. I see the Lakers is in Vegas celebrating. LeBron walking around with the trophy. So the Lakers, man, they out here big chilling, enjoying life, man. Deion Waiters want to be called Champ Cheese. Anthony Davis is going to bed at 5 a.m. and he was on IG Live with JR, not waking up to 12 because he like, I'm a champ. This is what I can do. Lakers, man, they out here wilding.
They deserve it, though. They deserve it. It was a tough, emotional season, and you deserve to have a little fun because you need that. You need that.
Get that release.
I definitely am proud of, like I said, I'm proud of LeBron, especially that's my boy. I love LeBron. I always go to bat for that dude. I be having debates every single day about LeBron this, LeBron that. Hey, at the end of the day, I at least got 3 months where I could talk my talk or whatever the case may be. I got 3 months before they start the season again. I could be like, Bron is the GOAT. Bron 4 for 4. LeBron is this. LeBron is that. And I could do that or whatever. Until he's not at the top of his throne, I'm going to give that man his credit. And I think people are going to respect him and appreciate his game when he retires, man. He's a talent that you ain't going to see ever again. Somebody that played the game the right way and can do the things that he can do. is just phenomenal. And he's just different. He did it his way. And that's what I respect about him. Like, nothing against Kobe, nothing against Jordan. Jordan had his way, and Kobe played very, very similar to MJ. And I'm not going to say Kobe didn't do it his way. He was just who he was. He was very more – I felt like he was more skillful in many ways because he had more access to his game to MJ because he got the blueprint from MJ, but he evolved that blueprint. I think LeBron, he played the game his way. I think he was the evolution of a Magic Johnson, a guy that could do a little bit more than just get people involved, more athletic, more explosive. And LeBron said he looked up to MJ, but he was a Magic Johnson fan from day one. And you can see the style of play, how they play. And Magic played the game the right way, or whatever the case may be. And LeBron's playing the game the right way. So shout out to that boy. They celebrate, enjoy it, because, it's going to be this. Bro, if LeBron James can win it, bro, I want to show you this real quick before we get up out of here. I want to show you this picture. I can't show the screen per se, but I want to read this off to you. I want to read this because it's always debate that you know what I'm saying. They get on LeBron for only winning 4, but I want you to read this. I want you to listen to this. Michael Jordan. All right. When Michael Jordan played in the finals, these are the people he played, right? He played against 3 Hall of Famers. He beat the Lakers. He beat Bloody Divac, James Worthy, Magic Johnson, right? At the tail end, sort of at the tail end of their career. Okay. Then he beat
10 for Magic, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. All right. Year 10, it's you up there. You in 10 years, it's not in your prime. You getting up there. All right. So here we go. Clyde Drexler. And then he played against, I forgot, I can't see who this dang dude name is. They don't have his name. But they got Clyde Drexler. He played against 1 Hall of Fame.
So on Portland, it was just, they had Terry Porter. Is that Terry Porter?
No, it's not Terry Porter. It's a defensive guy. It's an all-defensive guy or whatever. So he played against Clyde Drexler. And then he played against the Suns. He played against Charles Barkley, who's the only Hall of Famer on that team, and Dan Marley or whatever the case may be. Then he played against Gary Payton, who was the only Hall of Famer on that team, and then Sean Kemp, okay? Then he played against Karl Malone, who's a Hall of Famer, and John Stockton, who's a Hall of Famer, all right? He played against them 2 years in a row, all right? Now, listen to this. LeBron, when he first went to championship against the Spurs, he played against Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Bruce Bowens. Second time, he played against, and all 3 of those people are Hall of Famers, by the way, are going to be Hall of Famers, per se. Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd, and Tyson Chandler, who was a monster that year that people always forget.
Only Jason Kidd and Dirk.
But I'm telling you, they took away the paint with Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler was a beast or whatever during that year. All right, here we go. Because I swear that's when Tyson Chandler got a big bag after that. He went to New York, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, now, OKC, Russell Westbrook, KD, and James Harden, and Ibaka, all right? Then the following year, Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard. The following year, the same people. Then after that, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and what's his name? Oh my God. What's the 7-footer? Bogut. Then and Iggy. Okay. Then he played Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond, and Iguodala. Okay. Then he played Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, KD, Draymond, and Iguodala. Then he played them 2 years. So he played them, and then the last year was probably his easiest one was Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
All right, let me again. We supposed to be ending the show. Let me give you the counter argument to that, because this is the counter. And I have that technically. I'm supposed to send you this message, but since we already here, I'm gonna give you the counter argument to that. Right? So when you mentioned Jordan and who he won and played against. So in these championship runs, here are Jordan's best teammates. Scottie Pippen.
We ain't, nah. We ain't doing that.
I'm just saying.
We gonna end this show. We could do that another day. I'm just talking about competition. We're not talking about his teammate. We talking about competition.
I'm
focused on competition.
But what I was getting to is me and the homie have established what this was about. Jordan had less comp, less team, less player per se, like less teammates.
But all he needed was, okay, I'll give you.
Can I finish? So Jordan, less competition.
Yeah.
Teammates lesser teammates outside of Pippen, right? And you can throw Rodman, but for the most part, we're gonna just say Pippen because Pippen was the only person.
Horace Grant too. Don't forget about Horace Grant when he was on that team. Played solid.
Yeah, but nobody even talk about Horace Grant outside of what he did with Jordan because nobody talk about Horace Grant when he was with Orlando. So yeah, LeBron, more competition, more superstar teammates. So I don't necessarily. Do I need to go to list of teammates for Mr. James? Not to knock LeBron. I'm just saying. So when you look at it,
you need it because of the era. The era was different, but
that's what I'm saying. So we can't compare.
But I would say this.
You can acknowledge Jordan played in a league with lesser, and he required lesser teammates. He dominated what he needed to dominate.
Because he was the best player in the world at that time.
Huh?
He was the best player in the world at that time. Yeah. That can do that. A lot of people couldn't do what he can do. And LeBron played, even if he was the best player in the world, there was a lot of great competitive people that can play. It was comparable.
More competition required more help. That's all I'm saying. So what I'm saying is people can't use the championship they can't use those arguments to me to justify either side.
No, I'm just saying. I just want people to realize that.
Figure out a better argument in my head.
No, it's not. It's the argument to show that the man played against some tough competition. So for him losing, y'all knocked this man so much, but y'all not realizing the competition that he played. And then I get it. He had Bosh and he had Wade. Some years Wade was on a downcline. He wasn't the same Wade, and Bosh was okay, or whatever the case may be. And the role players, they just didn't play well. Then he had Kyrie. Kyrie and LeBron only played in 2 finals. That was healthy. The last year, they wasn't really gelling. You could tell they wasn't really, it was a lot of turmoil going on, or whatever the case may be. But that's not to make no excuse, but they just wasn't gelling. The year prior to that, he was hurt. Kevin Love was hurt, or whatever the case may be, and Kyrie was hurt most of the time. And then he went and played against the Warriors with, I wouldn't say nobody's, just not superstar or all-star players on that team.
The first one. Man, I feel like
no, because he played against KD. Remember, he beat Boston in Boston for Game 7 to go to the championship again, and they didn't stand a chance. They won. They got swept that year. They didn't have a chance, or whatever case, to beat that team.
That's J.R. Smith.
Yeah, the Henny. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I just want people, when you look at what he had to play against, I'm not making no excuses, but I'm just saying those were some great teams that he played against. And I told you, we said it in the final. Maybe he was favored, but when them injuries came, he wasn't favored no more. And he was only favored 3 out of those 10 finals. It's fact proven, and it's in the books. So the better team usually wins in the finals. And that's usually what happens 9 times out of 10, or whatever. Unless you get some luck. Unless you get lucky.
Technically, he was one of the 9 times out of 10 because the Heat were better than the Mavs. But that's the thing.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. We're about to get up out of here. Hey, we got a lot of dope stuff coming up. We're going to be talking about how players can improve their game because we know basketball season is going to be pretty much gone for the next 2 to 3 months, possibly. So we're going to be talking about individual players and how they can improve their game as far as analyzing their game and seeing what are some of the holes and how can they get better. I can't wait for that series. It's going to be pretty, pretty dope. So be on the lockdown. Let us know in the comments below what players y'all want us to do first. All right, what players y'all want us to do? Anything you want to say before we get up out of here, bro?
No, man. Let's just get it. We're looking forward to our series. We can do players. I think we can do the team and then the superstar from that team and how that whole thing can improve. And I think that'd be a cool average 2 teams an episode or something.
Yeah.
Keep the fan, man. We got to keep the fans engaged, man.
Yeah, I like that. So we can do that. For sure. But y'all have a good day. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe, man. Always remember to talk that talk. I know I'm about to get it on Thursday, so I'm ready for it. But it's all good. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Hey, stay blessed. Peace.